2021 here with your live show. We're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We have got a loaded schedule today. We've got 10 NFL games. We've got 15 Major League Baseball games. There's soccer. We'll never talk about that on this show, but could if we wanted to. And we've got the Pacquiao fight. And I've talked to my friend Rob Peters. He's in Vegas for the fight. And, of course, he's been in the wild card gym with Manny Pacquiao. He's his personal bodyguard. So got some information about the way Manny's training, about how camp has gone, and what he projects for the fight, which is always good to have because he knows, well, if there's a tweak, if there's not a tweak, if there's, boxing is a very different sport because it's just one guy. So it's like a little pinky twinge could make all the difference. Guys, had to shed weight at the last second. It's like these are all big factors. And he says Manny Pacquiao is in rare form, vintage Pacquiao form, knocking out sparring partners in the gym, stoppages. He said that he was ready for Spence and he would have taken him. So I don't know. Rob is always usually super optimistic on these things. He's on the payroll. But, so you have to, take it for what it's worth. But he says that Manny Pacquiao is the play in this one and that, he believes that he'll go on and fight Spence or Crawford after this. And those guys should probably be on the lookout as well. So, the 42-year-old senator from the Philippines, I guess we'll ride Manny once again. This is one of the rare Manny fights I haven't been to. And, it's odd. That Rob's in Vegas. I'm not out there with the gang hanging out, Team Pacquiao. But, it is what it is. And, these are different times. But, I think I've seen a lifetime full of Manny Pacquiao fights live. I've been fortunate enough to see those. And Rob has some good fighters coming up, too. So we'll be in touch with Rob Peters. Probably try and get him on some shows. I've always tried to get Rob to do a show with us about boxing, where he comes in from the wild card, gets Freddie on and Manny and whoever, but it's a tough schedule because when you work with in an international sport like that, you're all over the place, like a lot of us like me haven't traveled in, almost 2 years now, year and a half. And, Rob, he just got back from Ecuador where he's working with Arnold Gonzalez, who's a 7-0 welterweight right now. And, one of the hottest prospects out there. So, but I'm excited for the fight. I wish it was Spence, like everybody else. And I think even Manny wishes it was Spence. But as Rob said, that was always Pacquiao, that I knew, stopping the guys in the sparring and in the gym and, way back, cashing Pacquiao tickets, way back. I've been betting Pacquiao fights so long they write them on the board. They used to write that from when they wrote the odds on the board. That's how long I've been betting Pacquiao fights. Some of my biggest winners, Pacquiao fights. And they knocked out Oscar De La Hoya, plus 170. Oh, man, I had a boatload on that thing. A boatload. Sat with Pepper Roach, he's no longer with us, Freddie's brother, and a few other guys from the gym for that one. It was awesome. It was just something to see. And then Morales 2, that was a pick'em. Man, he took him out in the 8th round. I had hit a trifecta at the win, and I just took the whole thing. I put it all on Manny by knockout on that one. That's when Manny used to stay at the win. Now he stays at, what do they call that thing? At the Mandalay Bay, they have, it's the one, the same name as the hotel in Miami. I forget the name of the place. Anyways. Those were the days, but different. Boxing is different now. I think I paid for a third row ticket Morales 3, Pacquiao Morales 3 was $500. Now it's like $8,000. It's like,
Right.
we paid $100 get-in price for second tier down for Morales 2. This like in not the upper deck, but like the next one down, and like the first row of the $100 seats. We paid $100 for those seats. Now those seats are like 800 or more base. Ridiculous. That's when they fought at Thomas and Mack. Anyways, we started the show right on time, so that means we're going to get into the picks right on time. We've got NFL football today, and last night, well, I got my best, oh man, inches, right? Game of inches and all that other stuff. Subjective calls, especially in the preseason. I didn't understand the penalty on the fumble there, and for the Bengals, I don't watch it with the sound, so I don't know exactly what happened there, but it sure looked like a fumble from where I was sitting, and no penalty at all. There was no head contact, no spearing, no nothing, right? It was just a good, solid football hit. And then at the end of the game, they had a chance if the Bengals would have stopped them on that last play, then they would have kicked the field goal and would have covered. But that's football, and it's kind of like it's preseason for losing games like that too, right? It's like you win some, you're winning games.
The Bengals could have went for the touchdown instead of just kicking a field goal to go down by 4.
They're terrible. They're lousy. They're in for a very long season.
I think Washington was a good play. It just didn't happen again.
No, it lost, so it's not a good play. I mean, it's pretty much the way it works for me. It's like if I cash the ticket,
it was a yard away from cash.
It wasn't, but it didn't. It still pays the same as an 85-0 blowout. It's like that's the problem with that. It's like
and it wasn't that.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes it rains. Right? That's what they say. But yeah,
the other game was even funnier because the Chiefs guy ran right out of the bounds. At the end of the game, he ran right out of bounds, straight down the sideline. He was like, and even his teammates when he came back in the huddle, they looked at him like, hey, what are you doing? Well, why didn't you just run it in? It's the preseason. Is what I heard all of them say. He could easily run right in the end zone, but he didn't.
Yeah, especially preseason where the games, they don't. These guys.
They're all like,
these guys.
You're fighting for a job. Why didn't you get a touchdown?
So
you could easily romp right in.
Colt McCoy, he sucks. I don't care, man. I'm not going to even sugarcoat it here or anything. This guy stinks, man. He stinks. He does, I don't see how he's on an NFL roster. There's so many guys out there that you can't do better than this. I mean, it's not like he's never played before. It's not like he's never seen time in games. It's not anything like that. How is this guy so bad? How is he so bad? It looks like he's like
be good in practice.
Oh my God! It's like maybe he isn't, but that's fine that he's good in practice. Then you put him on the practice squad. You don't put him on the varsity.
He's like Joe Montana in the practice. I mean,
it's amazing. It's amazing that that's the best you can do with a second string. But is this the world of the salary cap that we're living in, and why that's the best they can do for a second string, or is it just that is the best available out there? Because it's not good. There's nothing good about it. It's tough. It's a tough watch, is what it is.
Oh, it was a tough watch. Drive down the field and then throw it in double coverage. It wasn't even close.
Yeah,
I was like, what was that?
Chad Henne. I mean, this guy, he's made a career out of stinking. Bill Parcells' worst draft choice in the history of his quarterback picks is Chad Henne.
No, he's still playing in the NFL.
Yeah, he stinks. He's still stinking in the NFL.
Colt McCoy gets $1.2 million a year.
Oh, my God.
Well, in the grand scheme of things, that's a light amount.
I could do that.
Hey, he beat the Seahawks last year.
I could do what he does. I could do that. I swear.
I'd like to see that.
I'm old and short and slow and fat, but I could do it.
We need a Pick Dogs football game.
I'm telling you, man. This guy stinks.
Yeah, Ruffalo on the offensive line.
Oh, God. Ruffalo would probably, keel over trying to snap the ball. Anyways, we got games today. Let's see what we got on the schedule. I have two that I really jumped off the page at me. The rest of them are kind of just,
I saw you had 5 today or something like
well,
that.
3 baseball, 2 football. So that's 5.
That's 30% of the card.
No, it's not.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just teasing you.
No, it's not.
I'm just teasing you.
It's not even close.
It's not even close.
Not even close. But anyways, we got the Bills and the Bears. This one's interesting. It's Mitch Trubisky's triumphant return to Soldier. Then we have the Packers and the Jets. It's the Jordan Love show. This guy is getting not a lot of love. We've got the Miami Dolphins and the Atlanta Falcons. Tua, most improved player of week 1 from last year, I would say. Certainly looking like a Pro Bowl Hall of Famer. And Baltimore, Carolina. Ravens haven't lost a preseason game since 2015. It has been a long time since they lost one. 3.5. They put the hook in there. And then Detroit and Pittsburgh, the David Blau show enters Heinz Field. Smother some ketchup on that baby. Ron, you're chomping at the bit for the football here. What do you got?
Yeah, well, death taxes and the Ravens win a preseason game, it seems like. But I'm just going to lay the points with Baltimore here. Don't love laying more than 3 on the road, but the Ravens, like Mitch said, haven't lost a preseason game 18 straight now. Panthers had a +2 turnover ratio last week against the Colts and still lost the game by 3 points. Their secondary was torched by Ellinger and Eason. I think the Ravens, you got Trace McSorley, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I think he has a sharp night today. And then you got Huntley. He's an intriguing option for the Ravens. He's a two-way player. Can run the ball. He actually led the Ravens in rushing last week. So I'll take the Ravens and I'll lay the points. And then I'm also going to take the under in the Jets and Packers game. The Jordan Love show is going to have to be put on hold because he's not going to be playing in this one, banged up. And the Packers have really, really thin, skilled positions on offense. You got Benkert and Thulgala as the quarterbacks. To be honest with you, haven't really heard much about these guys. Wide receivers, I mean, that's the reason why Rodgers is complaining, the thin wide receiver and running back spots. Packers only scored 7 points on the Texans last week. Now they face the Jets, and I think they're going to struggle offensively. And the Jets only scored 12 last week. This total is super low for a reason. I'll take the under.
Rod, what do you think?
And for me, I'm going to take the under in the Buffalo Bills and the Bears game. Both got nice, solid defensive depth. I think we see a lot of running in that one. Give me the under. And I'm with Ron as well. Give me the Jets. How many times are you going to hear me say I'm going to take in the Jets this year? But give me the Jets over the Packers because I think they're in trouble in this game. And, of course, I'm going to be a homer. I'm going to take the Dolphins here. I think the Dolphins win by a touchdown over Atlanta. I'm going to have a solid game at home. Get a win in that one.
Brian?
Yep, I'm going to agree with Rod here. I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins here. I think they win this game by a touchdown. They're just the better coach, more talented roster here. And then I'm going to lean to the Buffalo Bills over the Bears. I just think that's a little bit too many points here. I think it's a field goal game either way. Wouldn't surprise me if the Bills would upset them, but I'm going to take the points here just to lean on the Buffalo Bills.
I like the Falcons against the Dolphins with the points. I think the Dolphins win the game, but I think the Falcons cover, if not win outright. This is a traditional game where they play every preseason, and I grew up with this one, so I know. I've been to the old Orange Bowl watching this game as a kid, and every single time the Falcons won. So no reason to get off of that chip here. I don't know what it is. They just have their preseason number, and I'm going to stick with that one. So I think getting the points makes it a little easier of a choice, too. So I'm going to take the Falcons in that one. Of course, Dolphins season ticket holders since day one, so you don't have to worry about my loyalty. I got my Kenyon Drake. I might not have my Dan Marino outfit on, but I do have season tickets. but which haven't been to a game in 20 years or something anymore. But anyways, I think that Carolina against Baltimore, I think they cover the spread here. I think the Ravens continue the winning streak. I just think Carolina covers the spread. Coach Rule plays in a lot of close games. Those games at Baylor were super close when he was coaching there. And then last year for Carolina, they lost a lot of close games too. And I think giving a guy like that 3.5 points at home is a lot. And I think the Ravens, generally, a lot of these preseason wins throughout the years, and we've been betting preseason a lot, which does it make us experts or degenerates? I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But I think that, we've seen a lot of these comebacks, for the Ravens and these kind of late field goal wins, and stuff like that throughout the years in this winning streak. Remember Tyrod Taylor doing it as a bad guy, right? I mean, we've seen this for a very long time now. So, but they do love to win these games. They might not talk about the streak much, but it's there. I don't know what the mainstream media says about it because I don't watch it, but, we've talked about the streak for sure. And, of those games, I think those are the two that jump off the page at me. I don't trust Mitch Trubisky as far as I could throw him. I thought Justin Fields looked really good last week. I think he's the guy that I might be the most off on my draft analysis, at least after week one, after, 1 quarter of football of him playing. He looks to be the guy that I'm the most off on, and, that happens. And, but most of the other guys I'm spot on. The Jets, I don't love their quarterback depth either. So as bad as the Packers quarterback depth is, the Jets isn't really there either. So that's one I'm going to stay away from. It is the road team giving points, and we saw the Jets last week against a pathetic Giants team, right? I mean, just sad. 12-7. So, I like the Jets' talent level. I like who they have on the team. I'm just not ready to jump on the Jets bandwagon. I would, if I was forced to bet the game, I think in the video I took the Jets, but it's not like Jets, Jets.
Well,
Jets.
That's why I didn't do the big old chant. I said I'll take the Jets, but I'm not going to do the chant.
Got the Titans against the Bucks. The Titans big winners last week. One of the biggest winners in week 1. Good coached team, but we'll see. He's a good coach until it comes time for the big games. Then, well, it kind of just didn't happen for him, right? It's just one short, right? It's just one short. Then you got Houston and Dallas. Ooh, you want to talk about quarterbacks? The Danucci show. Ooh. That's bad, man. That's freaking bad. It's like they should look into Colt McCoy. If that's the best you can do, maybe Colt McCoy is available, And then you have Minnesota and Indianapolis. Oh, man, Kellen Mond. I have high hopes for this guy. I think he's going to overcome that and play a little better, but I think the Vikings had about 4 yards rushing last week. Something like that. I think it was 6. It was something really low. It was under 10.
Oh, it was awful.
It was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is what happened, right? So Hamler is a guy that we talked about 2 years ago for the draft. He was one of my guys, right, that I said, this guy's going to be the guy that's a sleeper and that nobody's going to have, and the fantasy players should take Hamler because he's the guy, he's a playmaker and all that stuff. So the Broncos start in that game against the Vikings, like in week 1 of preseason. Drew Lock, Hamler, they got everybody in there against the Vikings backups. What do you think is going to happen? Hamler, 2 catches, 105 yards, 1 goes to the house. It's like Drew Lock is 5 of 7 for like 220 and 2 touchdowns. It's like, what do you think is going to happen? It's like, who knew that? If we knew that, that was a bet it all preseason moment right there. If you knew that was going on. But it'll be interesting to see here because the Vikings will probably be a little bit more prepared for this one than they were for that one. And the Colts, we know Frank Reich's a dick, right? I mean, douchebag. So it's like he's a guy that, those are the type of guys that generally win in preseason, because they're just, it's kind of like too into the game, right? He's too into it. That kind of guy. And then you have the Raiders and the Rams. I don't know if Mariota's playing or not. Is he? I think Mariota. I'm telling you, the more we see these other backup quarterbacks out there, the more Marcus Mariota looks like an NFL, like the pick of the litter of NFL backups, right? I mean, he could start on a lot of these teams. And then Denver and Seattle to round out the night. Brian, any of these 5 beauties?
I mean, judging by that 6.5 line, I think it's pretty safe to say Mariota is going to play. I think the 2 very good, strong plays here.
Well, no. The Rams have come out and said we're not playing any of our starters all preseason. Yeah. So it doesn't. The Raiders are going to play their starters. You know, it's dress rehearsal week, right? So they're going to play their starters the first half, right? We know that. That's common. But the Rams have clearly said none of our starters are playing in the preseason.
Yeah, we have one team here that's taking the preseason seriously in the Raiders, and one in the Rams that, just want to get to the regular season. I like the Raiders here laying the points. I think you're going to see a much improved Raiders team this year, like we talked about before. And the Cowboys are an absolute mess here, and this is a Texas rival game. I'll take the Texans plus I see it's dipped to 3 in some spots, but I'll take the 3.5 with the Texans. I think they knock off the Cowboys outright.
Rod?
And for me in that grouping of games, I got a little birdcage for you. I'm going to take Tennessee over the Bucks. Tennessee looked real good, nice depth. Game number 2, starters play a little more, and then we've seen Tampa Bay, a little Super Bowl hangover. I think they start off slow like they did last year. So I like Tennessee in that one. And then just like I said, Minnesota, they got worked by Denver last week. But I think they have a nice bounce back spot. I think the Vikings beat the Colts in that one. And then Dallas is definitely just awful. We're going to get 3.5 points. Well, I'll take Houston plus the 3.5 in that one. And the Broncos still got the battle over the backups going. So I'll take the Broncos over Clappy. The reason why it's -5 is because of the battle of the backups in Denver.
Love Magoo. Love him.
So I'll take the Broncos, lay the points. Houston plus the points. Tennessee, money line.
I would say of the backup quarterbacks I saw last week, Magoo is one of my guys. He's one of my guys. I would say he's a better version of Strevler. He's good. He's real good.
He is good.
He's way good. I like the way he tucks the ball under, runs, gets up, and he's fired up like a lineman, and it's like he's ready. He's freaking fired up to play. I like guys like that, man. He's a gunslinger. Guys like that sometimes, like that Josh Allen, right? He's kind of like Josh Allen. That's what he's kind of like. Reminds me of. I like Magoo. I tell you, if something happened to Russell Wilson, they would not be in that bad of shape with Magoo. Way better than Colt McCoy.
Oh, way better.
Colt McCoy is gruesome. I mean, the last 2 nights we've seen Joe Flacco and Colt McCoy. This is not even fair. It's like, I'm telling you, and people wonder why, like, I watch reality television. It's like, what do we got on the, recorded? I put these games up top. It's like, what do we got recorded? I don't know. Married to the Mafia. Okay. MTV. It's exciting. Oh, man. Romanelli, what do you got here?
Yeah, I'm going to also take the Texans getting the points. If you could shop your line and get that 3.5. Cowboys just look abysmal in preseason so far. We know the three-headed monster of Gilbert, DiNucci, and Cooper Rush just aren't really doing it. Texans had a nice week last week and still have some roles that need to be decided, starting position and backups as well. So expect a lot of their guys to be in it to the end of this one. So
at what point does McCarthy take some ownership over this disaster?
Yeah, it's been rough.
This guy's the offensive guru, right? He's the dreamer. He's the everything, right? Ask him, he'll tell you. At what point does he, say?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's been ugly to watch, but I'll take Houston, and then I'm also going to take the Raiders laying the points. Like Brian said, and Mitch said, Rams really have no business being in this preseason. They just looking forward to the regular season. The Raiders are an exciting team, like we've mentioned plenty of times before. This is a team that's deeper than what most people think, and Not sure if Mariota's going to get to start. I think he should play a little bit. He was doubtful last week, but even if he doesn't play, got another fantastic quarterback in Nathan Peterman. I mean, he didn't look too bad last week. 246 passing yards. He had almost 40 attempts at passing. So the Raiders gave him a good workload. The running backs looked solid for Las Vegas. 158 rushing yards. So I'll take the Raiders and lay the points.
Yeah, Peterman played a lot in that game. He looked pretty solid. I like the Raiders in that one too. I also like Clappy here against Denver. I think they outright them at home, Seattle. It wasn't. I think that Clappy last week was just in a bad spot. You know, I think playing in Las Vegas last week, their first home game ever with fans in the stands, even if it was a preseason game, the Raiders knew it was an important game. It was important for the Raiders. It was important for Vegas. It was important for everybody, for them. And for Seattle, they knew that too. But, Clappy at home is Clappy at home. And I think it's interesting, the Vikings, this is a team that I think has one of the best home field advantages in all of the NFL. And last year, without the fans, 3-5 at home. They're a good shot for a turnaround, because 6-2 at home for them should be an automatic. 6-2 or 7-1 at home should be automatic for a team like the Vikings. With that stadium, automatic. So look for them to be one of the good turnarounds this year. Maybe Kellen Mond finds this game. I kind of like that guy.
That's my pick for the turnaround of the year. Vikings.
Well, I don't know if they're my turnaround. My turnaround of the year is Tua. He's looking good. I think they gave him the downfield threats, and that's what he needs. These Alabama quarterbacks have a tendency to check down. We see Mac Jones do it all night long, and he's great. But Tua does it, and it's like, oh no. That's what they do, these Alabama quarterbacks. That's why you don't see any. That's why you don't see these Alabama quarterbacks starring in the NFL since Joe Namath. A.J. McCarron, right? You don't see these Bama quarterbacks doing crap in the NFL. Check down city, man. It's easy for a number one ranked high school quarterback to throw the ball down the field, and your receiver's the only one there. I mean, that's what they played with at Alabama. Every single one of them go right down the line, and look at the Alabama wide receivers in the NFL. They're all sprinters, every one of them. There's no possession wide receiver from Alabama in the NFL. Well, Julio Jones might be at this point, but he used to not be.
Yeah, he used to not be. Sprinter.
They all are. Amari Cooper, Waddle. You got Ruggs. They're all just sprinters. So just lob the ball out there. So they got two of the wide receivers to do that with this year, and we'll see what happens. They got him some fast guys. Got Fuller. He's a guy that only runs one pattern, right?
Yeah.
Knows one pattern. Yeah. And then he's a one pattern guy. And then you got Waddle, who I think can be a Tyreek Hill type. I think maybe he could be like that. He's one of the best. I mean, I'm a Miami guy, and so I'm a Devin Hester guy, but I think that Waddle's one of the best kick returners I've ever seen. He is freaking amazing. He's kind of like Roscoe Parrish was for us. Just kind of, it's like you go to tackle him, and he's over here. While Hester was just straightaway speed, Roscoe Parrish was kind of like they would go to tackle him, and he'd be over here. And they'd go to tackle him, and he'd be over here. He would play for the Bills for a long time, too. It was the same way there. Santana Moss was the same way, too. It was just like, good luck. Guy he's 5'6", 145 pounds. Plays in the NFL. You know how fast he is.
Right.
If you're that small, man, you play in the NFL, you are fat. Run. It's like Spud Webb, right, in the NBA.
Yeah.
And Muggsy. It was like, if you're that small and you play in the NBA, you are really fast. It's like you have some super athletic dunking power or whatever. It's like you're super fast. And that's how Muggsy was in Spud, right? It was like, whoa. Anyways, Brian, what are you hawking today? What are you selling? You gonna win people some money?
Well, winning days, I'm going for winning day 5 of the last 7 today. I got my NFL Pound Zone 3-pack. It includes my NFL preseason game of the year.
30% of the games on the board for the NFL.
Get all 3 for $40 at pickdogs.com. Or if you're a VIP member, you get them absolutely free. So sign on up and get my NFL preseason game of the year for free.
Ron Romanelli.
Yeah, I'm looking to bounce back today. I got my 3-pack today, Super Saturday 3-pack.
I thought you were going to say I got my ass handed to me yesterday. I got my ass handed to me.
I did.
He's in the pound zone.
Bounce back. Yep, I got my 2 NFL plays and an MLB play as well. Looking to sweep the board today and take down the books.
How come the guys on Twitter never get their asses pounded like we do? They never get. They're
untouchable.
They're untouchable, man. I'm doing the Twitter thing now. It's like I've been on about a month, and it's unbelievable. These guys. I mean, they're unbelievable. They never lose, ever. Never say, "Man, I just got my ass handed to me yesterday." It's like I had 2 games. I went 2-2 yesterday, man. I'll tell you what. Both those games were heartbreakers. Both my losses, I was right there. It's like, Rod, what do you got?
For me, I've got my NFL game of the week. So you can get that by itself over at Pick Dogs Premium. Or if you're a VIP member, I'll be giving that away in the VIP Premium show later. Or I've also got 4 Diamond Crushers, like 4 MLB plays. You can get them all in one package. My Super Saturday package. 4 MLB plus my NFL game of the week. Jump aboard, Pick Dogs Premium. Let's make some money.
I got 5 plays, 2 NFL, which will both be on the VIP show today. Took my first NFL premium loss yesterday on that Washington football team. Couple plays went against me, but that's betting. It's the same thing as losing 85-0. Paid exactly the same. I lost. And my other loss yesterday, I went 2-2. My other loss was I had the Rays against my White Sox, and they give up the home run in the 9th inning to tie up the game, and then I don't even know.
Never in doubt.
I don't even know what the hell happened. Yeah, just like your Giants pick, that was never in doubt, right? Yeah, the Giants can win in Oakland. Yeah, they do that all the time.
What are you talking about? I had Oakland yesterday.
No, you didn't.
You're missing. You got the wrong guy. I do.
Yep.
Gave it on the drive-through.
Sure you did. Sure you did.
Oakland A's.
I like the Giants, and they got spanked.
I had the A's.
Yep.
Anyways, I got 3 MLB today. I really like them, and I also really, and I don't say that every day. I do really like them, even in this time of year. And I have good angles on those games. All of them have good angles. And then I got 2 NFL today out of this card. I was able to come up with 2 games. Preseason just so hard, man. It's like I could have probably done 8, but it was like, at the same time, and I'll continue to look at the card, and I'll say, oh man, I could have put this in, but I'll just do those on the premium and VIP show. We'll talk more about those. We just talked NFL. I just gave out a bunch too. So, plus I did all those videos, but yeah, it's that time of year. I could feel it, even here in Hawaii. I could feel it. It doesn't get cold here, it just doesn't. Not where I live, not the part of Hawaii that I live. There's like a volcano behind our house that's like. It's kind of way back behind our house, and up there at the top, it can get cold. It has snowed up there. I think last year it snowed. It snows every once in a while up there, but it's like where I am. It's never. Fall's never in the air, but I can still feel it. I still feel it. It's weird. It's that weird feeling you get.
We get dew. We get dew. There's dew on the car, and dew in the grass. There's dew everywhere. That's how I know it's getting cold. There comes the fall weather. And then the leaves start changing. I can see some red and yellow starting to kick in. It's like, here it comes.
I'm on Maui. ZZ Ball's asking. Says,
hey, look, a snowdrift as big as the house.
I never want to see snow again. He says, are you on Oahu? The answer, no, I'm on Maui still. Anyways, happens. How much do the fans boost NFL results versus college results for home games? I would say not as much. I would say there's certain stadiums where it matters and certain ones where it doesn't matter at all. Like Jacksonville, I don't think it matters. But a place like, that Minneapolis Dome where you can't hear yourself think, I think that's a little tougher. I know the old Orange Bowl was a beast.
Yeah, but what about the teams that have to play in Jacksonville when it's like 90 degrees,
It's not that hot in Jacksonville. Jacksonville's north of West Palm Beach. So in Florida, when you go north of West Palm Beach, it's not nearly as hot as like it is in Miami. Like Miami is tropical, and then you go to subtropical, right? And then you go through what they call the coconut belt in West Palm Beach. And then anything north of that, it starts to get cold. And actually, you go up to that area, and it's cold. It gets cold in the winter. Not like, Rod cold, but it gets cold.
Nothing to get Rod cold.
No, Rod's out there in the wife beater.
Negative 30, negative 30 degrees.
You meet Santa Claus every couple of days.
Like -10, and people are like bundled up with 2 parkas, and it's like, really? It's so sunny. You just become acclimatized to it. That's all. Drop me into like +50 and see what happens. Probably not a bad thing.
But I think that college fans in the stadium is a big deal because I think winning on the road in college football is one of the toughest things in all of sports. And that's why when you look at the Nick Saban teams, right? You look at those Alabama teams and you look at all these national championships that he's won. He's only run the table twice, and one was last year, right? When there was no fans in the stands. The other one was the A.J. McCarron team. That was a long time ago. Outside of that, he's never run the table at Alabama. He's seen as this great coach. And in Miami, we always consider you got to run the table, right, to be an elite. But, he gets it done with one loss because he gets the benefit of the doubt from the committee. While a lot of other schools with one loss would never get the benefit of the doubt. They would never get in the playoff to even be in there with the one loss. This guy gets one loss. The team that beat him is ranked behind him. It's ridiculous. I mean, he's a great coach. He's got a great team. He shouldn't need that. He's got like 10 national championships or something. Bashing the guy. That's what people are going to say. I'm not bashing him. I'm just saying, he gets the benefit of the doubt. He does. Oh, man. We've got Major League Baseball today. Day games. So we're going to do the VIP show and the premium app right after this. The premium we'll do right after this, of course, like we always do. And then right after that, we'll do the VIP. So it'll be a morning show. We've got the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees. This is boring. I mean, how many of the crap? So the Yankees, they're playing hot, whatever, like this. You got to say, was the front end of their schedule just really loaded with the tough teams? We got to look at their schedule and see what they got because they haven't played a team with a winning record outside of the White Sox at all during this entire run.
They swept the Red Sox.
The Red Sox are slumping badly. They didn't catch Chris Sale in that either.
Yeah.
They got the tail end of it.
We're not gonna,
you could discount it, all you want, but the Yankees are hot. They're red hot. Are they peaking too early? Probably. They got a lousy manager, so they got problems there. They will have problems against the good teams. Well, it's true. When you get to the post, see, there's a difference between playing the good teams and the bad teams, right? Because when you play against the good teams, you get into those tactical games. And that's when your manager earns his money. Yeah, I mean, you throw out Aaron Judge against the Baltimore Orioles every night. Good luck, who cares? You're going to beat. There's no managing decision. There's no tactics. There's no nothing in a 10-1 game. You get into a 3-2 game, 2-2 game in Tampa. That's a whole different story, and that's where Aaron Boone will lose games for the Yankees mail it in. I mean, it is automatic. Automatic. He gets into those kind of games, he will lose those games. There are 25 managers in baseball that are better than him. He could be the worst. He's definitely in the running. Too much of a, I think he's too soft, right? A little soft.
I don't know what's soft.
You think the umpires laugh at him when he comes out to argue a call? I think they do. So, here comes the Boone jokes. Aaron Boone's coming.
He goes at him. I think he's a little too aggressive sometimes, but I definitely think the Yankees need to find a new option at manager.
They'll have a chance.
I don't know now. I'm worried because they're going to make the playoffs and everything's going to be fine again, but it's still not a World Series team with Boone.
They haven't made the playoffs yet, man.
I know, but if they're on the...
They have played the softest month of a schedule of any team in all of baseball this month. They played the softest schedule. So they've had the best run. They took advantage of it, but they have played the softest schedule, right? So we need to look at what their schedule is going forward. They played the streak started with the Marlins, right? Marlins, Orioles. They played the Mariners at home. They played the White Sox in Chicago and the Cornfield, right? So that was their one series against a winning team. Then they played Boston, who's a winning team, but they're slumping. And it's like they haven't really been overly tested, I would say, during the streak. And when they were tested earlier this season, they failed miserably. But we'll take a look at the Yankees and see what they have coming forward. And I think that's what you go to say. So, and that's what we'll know. Exactly.
4 against Oakland coming up with you.
Right. It's like,
against the Braves.
There you go. So They have, after Minnesota, they got 2 against the Braves and at Atlanta, then 4 at Oakland, then 3 at Anaheim. So those are not, those are, you never know. Then 3 against the Orioles again, then 4 against the Jays. Those are all at home, though. But the Jays' pitching staff is way better than the Yankees at this point. So you got to figure that's going to be tough. Then 3 at the Mets. Now, we've been talking about the big team in the city versus the second team in the city and how those series generally go. So I would say the Yankees probably in trouble there. If Mets, maybe DeGrom's back by then.
He probably will be, but if the Mets can't score a run, then
you're talking in 2 weeks. It could be a totally different story in baseball in 2 weeks from now. It's not like the Mets haven't scored runs all season.
I know, but they're
so here
basically
we go.
Done.
So at Baltimore, at home against Cleveland, at home against Texas. So here's how they end the season, okay? At Boston for 3, at Toronto for 3, and then home against Tampa Bay for 3. So my guess is those 9 games are going to decide if the Yankees are the American League East champions or if they're a wild card team or out. Those 9 games will be the entire season at that point, because I could see them, because they're going on the road here. They're not going to sweep the A's in Oakland. They're not going to. The West Coast road trips in the Yankees have never been a great thing. Remember those trips to Seattle?
Yeah.
Oh my God, King Felix won a Cy Young Award just playing the Yankees.
Yeah.
They do have 6 against the Orioles. All right. Anyways.
I don't think the Blue Jays rotation is better than the Yankees either.
Oh, it's way better.
Nah.
Way better.
Not with Cole
Way
back in.
better.
No.
Cole Schmoll.
Tyone's pitching well. Cole's pitching well. Gill's pitching well so far. I don't think he's the answer, but if Kluber comes back...
Kluber's terrible, man. Terrible. Don't
no
even kid
hitter.
yourself. Don't even kid yourself.
Throwing no hitter.
Terrible. Yeah, but look at his other games.
Yeah, but look at Tyone. He was terrible, and now he's starting to sharpen up.
The White Sox had a guy. A couple of years ago that threw a perfect game. He was in the minors by like the All-Star break. Believe me, it happens. And who was the guy on Detroit that almost did a perfect game and they made the wrong call at the game?
Galarraga.
Yeah.
Armando Galarraga.
So that's how much a no-hitter and perfect game means right there. Anyways, Yankees, Twins, Rays, White Sox, Cubbies against the Royals. It's Aaron Water Show day in Chicago, so it should be nice air show over Wrigley. And, well, did you see the Blue Angels flying over yesterday? It was awesome. And then they had Tigers and the Jays and the Mutts against the Dodgers. Brian, these are 5 miserable games. These are right up your alley. What do you like?
5 miserable games. Yeah, I'm going to take the Minnesota Twins today. I think today's the day they knock off the Yankees. Cole, overpriced, minus 225. I think Maeda can keep the Twins reasonably in the game here, and then they steal it late. And I think today's the day to take the Tampa Bay Rays. Got Keuchel on the mound for the White Sox. He stinks. I think the Rays get one back here and get a W.
Ron?
For me,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I thought you said Ron.
That's kind of going this way.
Fight.
All right.
No, go ahead. Go.
I'm going to take the over in the White Sox Rays game. Keuchel, I've been fading him all season long, 4.48 ERA, just not the same stuff he had when he won the Cy Young. And Luis Patino on the other side, one of the Rays' top pitching prospects, but just doesn't have it this season. Another young arm that still needs some time to develop. Walking a lot of batters, giving up a lot of home runs, and we know the White Sox love left-handed pitching, but he's usually they bring in a lefty after they bring in Patino, so I expect plenty of runs in this one. I think both teams score plenty. We saw 12 yesterday. I'll take the over.
Rod?
For me in these ones, I'm going to take the Twins plus the 1.5. I'm going to get plus money on that one. Maeda's not his last couple starts. He's actually been pretty good. So I think the Twins can hang around and at least keep it a 1-run game in this one. So give me the Twins plus the 1.5. And then I'm going to take Detroit over the Jays. As I seen yesterday, the Jays just aren't hitting. Sure, Vlad hit a home run, but he's the only guy that's making solid contact and actually hitting. So even if your starter comes out and pitches a solid outing, you're not scoring runs, you're not winning games. And this Detroit team's still pretty happy, and I'll take over the Jays in that one. The 2 I like.
Rod, who would you take, Garrett Cole or Hyun-Jin Ryu?
Ooh.
Brian, who would you take?
Cole.
I would take Cole.
Okay.
I'd give the check mark to Cole there. Okay. Jordan
Depends how many
Montgomery.
smokes Rios I got.
Jordan Montgomery. So we go to number 2. Jordan Montgomery versus Robbie Ray.
Robbie Ray this year.
Robbie Ray is like a top 10 ERA in baseball this season.
Lights out.
Lights out. How about you, Romanelli, the homer?
Yeah, I'd take Robbie Ray.
Brian?
Yeah, Robbie Ray.
Okay. Jameson Italian, Jose Barrios. Rod?
Italian.
Yeah, I'd probably lean Italian, but it's close.
Barrios for me. Way bigger upside. Way bigger potential to throw a huge
better
game.
Upside,
but way bigger potential to bring one home. Because this is a guy at this level. Now we're looking at guys that would start a postseason game, right? So these guys would, if it's a postseason game, who would you rather have on the mound, Barrios or Italian? I'd rather have Barrios. This guy was a number 1 starter. He's a number 2, pitching in the number 3 spot.
Yeah, but he hasn't really been too many big spots. Neither is Italian, but
Italian's, but you were talking about in the 3 spot, Barrios and Italian.
They're both good options at 3. I think
Italian is not a good option at 3.
Yes, he is. He's a very good option at 3.
It's an aberration. His season. All right, we'll go to number 4. Herman versus Manoah.
Herman hasn't pitched in a while, but
he's the guy there. Manoah.
I'm taking Manoah.
It's not even close. It's
totally
not even close.
Last start.
One start. Herman's been terrible his whole career.
He bounces back. He's a young arm.
I'd
say Manoah.
It's not even close.
Look, he has a blip.
He has a blip. He's like rookie of the year.
I don't think Herman's the guy right now because he's been out for a while.
He's listed as number 4 on the depth chart.
I know the depth chart.
I'm going on the depth chart. And then we have the number 5. This is the lesser of 2 evils. Andrew Heaney and Steven Matz.
Oh.
Pick your poison.
Yeah. basically.
So there's
there's the
Flip
pitching
this
staff.
coin.
There is the starting pitching staff comparison right there. That's it.
They're pretty tight, to be honest with you.
I think the Jays have a slight edge there. Because I like Barrios. I think the Jays win Ray, Barrios, and Manoah, the 2, 3, 4. I give Cole over Ryu, and I even give Heaney over Matz. He's pitched a little better over the past month. Matz has been a dumpster fire since the first week. So I have to give Heaney the check mark there. I give Cole the check mark. I give Ray, Barrios, and Manoah over the other 3 for the Yankees. So I say that's just me, and that's the only opinion that matters here. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Anyways, back to picking games. It is pretty interesting though, right? You see how it's splitting hairs, right? It's super close, and then we can go down the batting order. It's going to be just as close, you know.
Just as
It's going to be.
I give it to the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it's if anything. So it's like, anyways. Where are we? Rod, did you go?
Yep, I took the Twins plus the 1.5, and I took Detroit over the Blue Jays.
I'm taking the Yankees in this one. I think they bust up the Twins pretty good here. They're mopping the floor on the bad teams. They also have that mojo going where it's like 3 runs come out of nowhere. You know, it's always like the 7th inning too. I just think teams like that you don't want to get in the way of, especially against the bad teams. I'd way rather, if I'm going to go against the Yankees, I'd way rather take Oakland in those games there for the sweep than take Minnesota to get a whiff on them here. I think, to me, the toughest game of these 5, I don't have any premiums on these. I don't like any of them, but the toughest of these 5 for me was the Tigers and the Blue Jays because Peralta has pitched well against the good teams. That's when he has pitched well. He was the one when the Tigers went on that run. He was the one that, came out and put the fire out on the Houston Astros, who were smoking hot going into that game. Remember how hot the Astros were? They had won like the Yankees are right now. The Astros were that hot. Peralta came down, shut him down, and the Tigers went on that run. So he's in a horrible spot here. I mean, this is just a horrible spot because the Jays are, 2 games back in the loss column, or 1 in the wild card race. So it's like, the Jays are, it's so tight in the American League with the A's winning. The Yankees are a game up on the A's, and then the A's are a half game on the Red Sox, 4 on the Mariners, but only 3 in the loss column and 3 in the loss column on the Jays. So this is just so tight in the American League. But the Jays plus 115 run differential this season, man. That is off the chain. That's like Dodgers type numbers, Dodgers plus 208. Yeah, plus 208. It's just nothing going on over here.
When you beat the Diamondbacks 20-2, you'll get there pretty quickly.
And by the way, on the pitching end, the Yankees have given up 493 runs, while the Jays have given up 501. So
it's close.
It is close.
But Severino and Kluber and the Yankees all day. Armand taken out.
The Orioles are minus 230. What are you doing? They've given up 711 runs.
They said the Diamondbacks are not the worst team in baseball. We are.
Wow. They've lost 16 in a row.
All run line.
And the thing is, you can't even get paid on that. But anyways, I think that Tigers Blue Jays game is the interesting one. If you want to take a punt, I think the Tigers might not be the worst place to take it. I think that's a pretty tough one. We got the Brewers and the Nationals. We got the A's and the Giants. The Indians and the Angels. The Astros and the Mariners, and the Reds and the Marlins. Rod, what do you think?
For me in these ones, I'm going to take the Giants. Bounce back. They lost Oakland last time, but You look at Sean Manaea's starts. He hasn't been good his last three. 0-2 with a nice 12.27 ERA. He's been worked. I'll take the Giants on the run line. They got to bounce back in that one. And the other one I like the Brewers here. Eric Lauer's been solid his last three starts with his 1.5 ERA versus Espino in the Nationals. I'll take the Brewers to get a win here at home on the run line. Two I like in that one.
I had Manaea on the show. Like we get the we have 5 home teams here for baseball, and one of them is Oakland. We get the show after the game, and Manaea was on last night, and he seemed pretty excited about this one. To be honest with you, he was super stoked on it. So
super stoked. Did you give up 3 home runs again?
The A's own the Giants.
That's a blip.
They own them. The A's own the Giants. They own them. That's Bittler. It cost him in his bankroll yesterday. He was a big Giant backer.
No, I was a big Oakland backer.
Sure you were. It's okay, Brian. We got room on our bandwagon.
Gotta get your facts straight.
Because Rod's not on it, so
don't put words in my mouth.
Rod loves a good bandwagon.
Don't put words in my mouth.
I'll put words in your mouth.
Is it my turn?
No, it's Ron Romanelli's turn.
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much. No. I'm going to lean to the Athletics at home getting plus money. Yes, Manaea has not been too sharp, but neither is Kevin Gauss since the All-Star break. I don't really want to lay moneyline price on the road, the favorite moneyline price on the road with the Giants here. Both teams obviously playing for this one. It's a big rivalry, as well as both teams are in a playoff races in the division and wild card. But I think the Athletics getting the plus money, that's where your value lies at home. So I'll take the A's, and then I'm going to take the under in this Angels-Indians game. You got 2 of the most promising young pitchers in the league going at it. 2 guys that struggled at the start of their careers and of this season, but Tristan McKenzie, give him credit, last start, perfect game late into his outing, shutout, 8 innings, 11 strikeouts, only 1 hit allowed. He's definitely starting to show some signs of production and then in development. You got Reed Detmers, struck out 6 batters in 6 innings last outing against the Astros, his best start in the majors so far. I think runs are hard to come by. Total set at 9. I think we see about 7 or 6. So I'll take the under.
Brian?
Yeah, I hate to disagree with my good buddy Rod here, but I think the A's might be the best free pick on the board. I think they're bound and determined to take out their rivals here. They're at home.
I hate them.
And
the
Gausman hasn't gone more than he's pitched about 4 or 5 innings his last half dozen starts, so he's not going to go that deep. I just think Oakland A's here are the definite best free pick bet, and I like the Nationals a little bit against the Milwaukee Brewers. Nats have won 3 straight games. I think you take the plus 1.5 here with Washington. I think this is a 1-run game all day. Lauer isn't that great, so Nationals plus 1.5, and the best bet here is the Oakland A's.
I'm with you on the Oakland A's. I also like that under in the Reds-Marlins game with Miley and Thompson. Both these guys are tough, and I know it's a hitter's ballpark, but I like the under in that one. I do like the under in that Indians-Angels game. I didn't even think about that, but a good call on that one, Romanelli. We knew this guy was sitting on a world of talent, I was overly excited when they brought him up at first, and he kind of wasn't ready. And Reed Detmers, he doesn't look really ready either, but he certainly has the stuff. I don't know. The Indians are so damn good in August and September. They just always are, man. Always. It's like clockwork, man. 2 games under 500. Lurking. Might be too much wood to chop in front of them this year.
Yeah.
I'll have to see. Yeah, it's looked like this before for them, and they've done it. So they've done it. They've qualified for the playoffs as a wild card and stuff on the last day of the season, probably more than anybody over the last 10 years. Them and the Rays. 2 teams at like the last week of the season.
Yeah, the Rays have that late push magic.
Yep, the A's and the Indians. The Guardians. All right. That was fun. It was a fun little segment. Move over to Braves Orioles. Ooh, that's a gem. And then we've got the Red
Even
Sox.
better, Jim.
Red Sox and the Rangers. Woo. And the Cardinals and the Pirates. Pirates getting the win last night. And D-backs and the Rockies. Our buddy Zach Gallen just not having a good season. I think he's hurt. He's playing hurt. He just doesn't look like the same guy out there. And then Phillies and Padres. Two teams going south in a hurry. 3-7 in their last 10 for the Phillies and 2-8 in their last 10 for the Padres. The yuck factor in town at Petco. Brian, speaking of the yuck factor, who do you like in these five?
Yeah, I think the only one of those games I kind of like just a little bit is the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cardinals looked lifeless yesterday. You got J.A. Happ laying -195. So I think the only place you could be is on the Pittsburgh Pirates here. I think they get another W.
Ron?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. It's probably my D-Gen play of the day. Just take the Pirates plus money, getting a ton of it against the weakest link in the Cardinals rotation. Or is it John Lester? I guess that's up to debate. But, Pirates got the win yesterday. Dylan Peters is an interesting starter today for the Pirates. And, I think it's just you're getting a ton of value with Pittsburgh. They're not going to make it look pretty all the time, 43-79 in the year. But I think this would be a good spot to take them. And I'm also going to take the Braves and lay the run line until the Orioles can either win a game or cover a game on the run line. I'm just going to continue the trend. Matt Harvey's starting to pitch like he did in the beginning of the season. Had a really rough last start against the Rays, and the Braves just playing really magical baseball. I mean, without Acuna now taking the lead in the division and taking it by force, I think that they win this one again by 2-3 runs. I think you could lay the alternate run line at 2.5 to just try to get some better price there. So I'll take Atlanta run line.
Rod?
For me, in those two, you might as well take Atlanta minus the 2.5. We usually win that one by 3. Until the Orioles do something. Maybe they're going to bust the record for the longest losing streak.
They're not even close. They're not even close. They're not even close to the longest losing streak this season. The Diamondbacks and the Cubs have both had monster losing streaks this season. The Cubs have had 2 of them.
Well, the Orioles are well on their way.
I like the Orioles here today, so I'm gonna. That's besides.
Well on the way. And then the other one I like Boston to whip up on Jordan Lyles. Well, Lyles was awful. He's 0-3 with a 9 ERA his last 3 starts. 2-7 with almost a 6 ERA on the road. I think this Boston team whips them up. Give me Boston minus the 2.5. And I'm with you. Give me the Pirates here. I think the Pirates show up and beat the Cardinals again.
For me, of this segment, I like the Rockies with Freeland against Gallen. Gallen's one of my guys, but not this year. He just doesn't look right, and he hasn't been right. It's like he's good for like an inning or even for a batter, and then he just gets smacked. And it's like, in Colorado, bad spot. I know Freeland hasn't been so hot this year either, but he's one of those Rockies guys that pitches better at home. He's a Denver guy. He's from Denver, so he's only pitched an altitude his whole life. So it's on the road where he has struggled more. I like the Orioles here to end the streak. Draw the line in the sand at home at Camden Yards. We see a dropping line here, and a lot of public smack here on the Braves. So I think somebody knows something, and it's me. Is that somebody? Because I'm laying big here on the Orioles. I think today's the day. I think we could even reverse run line this. I think Bittler will let me put all of his salary for this month on that with me.
Nah, it's okay. I'll pass.
I think the Braves have been playing well, 9-1 in their last 10. Of course, the Orioles have lost 16 in a row, but baseball is one of those games, It's just one of those.
I will say the Orioles hit lefties really well, but
yep. And Drew Smiley gets hit really well.
That's true. I mean, the overs worth the look too.
Yeah,
they didn't hit him.
Yeah, I know that's the thing. Fried, he had a good start, so
yeah.
I think just the Orioles in general are just playing so. I mean,
I got news for you. Let me explain something to you, okay? And he hasn't pitched like it necessarily all year this year, but Max Fried is a number 1 starter on one of the better young pitching staffs in all of baseball, okay? So Drew Smiley is kind of a fill-in guy that they hope can log some innings. There's a big difference. It's kind of like saying, well, they didn't hit Kershaw in 2014. It's like, so they can't hit lefties. It's like, yeah, it's like,
I know they can hit lefties, but Fried hasn't been. I mean, he's been okay. I mean, he's
had a rough year, but the second half of the season, he's been really strong.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like, I always say that Max Fried is the guy that in those big matchups, like he's a number one starter that, against DeGrom, he's not going to beat him. He's not going to keep you in there. It's like, so in the last, not this year, obviously, not last year, and maybe not even the year before that, but it would always be like, who's the guy that goes up against King Felix, Who's that guy? Because he's the guy, he's going to have to basically throw a shutout or one run, to keep you in the game. So when King Felix got his no-hitter against the Indians, Clevenger threw a one-hitter in that game. It was a home run. Do you know that? It was 1-0. Clevenger threw a one-hitter against him. It was a home run in the first inning. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It was nuts. That's crazy, man. I don't know. There's more no-hitters in Seattle than anywhere. It's also in the blue and yellow uniforms, which I like. I think they should bring those back. I don't like the Seattle. I like the blue and the yellow with the pitchfork. M.
Yep.
Yeah, those are the good ones. All right, it's parlay time. You could do an NFL parlay and a baseball parlay. You could just do a multi-sport parlay. You could just do, the big favorites that you bet. You can do, whatever you want to do. It's your parlay, Rod.
Well, for me, we're going to go. We'll go with a little NFL there. We're going to take Houston plus the 3.5. We're going to take Detroit Tigers on the money line, and we're going to take Boston minus the 2.5. We're going to parlay those three up today.
Ron?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Las Vegas Raiders laying the points. I'm going to take the Houston Texans getting the points. I'm going to take the over in the White Sox Rays, and then I'm going to take the Oakland A's on the money line. Oakland A's, a play that I'm looking at now. It's probably a play I regret not putting in the premium area. I think that's probably my most comp play of the day.
Brian?
I'm going to have a simple a two-team multi-sport parlay. I'm going to take the Texans plus the 3.5 and the Oakland A's on the money line. Those are my two favorite free picks of the day.
All right. Well, I'm going to do a football and a baseball parlay because that's what I do. And you could even put all 6 of them together and call it a 16 parlay. Why not? It's not like it hasn't been done before. Anyways, I like the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to parlay them up with the Carolina Panthers plus the points. You're going to need those points because the Ravens are going to win the game. So you need those points. Make sure you get the hook. Okay? So the Raiders, the Panthers plus the hook with the Seattle Seahawks against the Broncos. That's my NFL parlay. I got 2 NFL premiums. We're going to talk about those on the VIP show. Then I like the Oakland A's run line against the Giants in this one. I like the Baltimore Orioles and the I had the other one all lined up. Oh, Colorado Rockies on the run line. We want tacos, and I believe they get tacos here in Colorado.
Tacos.
Yeah, in Colorado and Arizona, if you score over X amount of runs, you get tacos. And, Colorado, like as the runs go on the board, every time they score a run, it flashes across the screen. We want tacos. You guys don't watch the Rockies games?
Oh, I do. The taco.
We want tacos.
I get a lot of tacos.
They do get a lot of tacos. Nothing wrong with that. No one's complaining. But thanks, everyone, for joining us. Have a great day. Just about 10 minutes over our hour, but it was packed with picks today, packed with action. I think the general consensus here is that the Blue Jays pitching staff is better than the Yankees. Manny Pacquiao is going to win tonight. And, well, we're going to try and act more professional tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Let's make it a winning day. And like I said, going to try like crazy to act more professional tomorrow.